Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Bizarre. I'm Jessica.
I'm Montana.
And if you're new here, hello, welcome. We've been waiting for you.
Duh. Before we get into part 2, I have a shout out. You're like, who the heck? As we're filming this, March 31st, I just want to give a shout out to my mom because it's her birthday.
Aw, happy birthday.
My Aries.
Tony's birthday was yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry, Tony. Happy birthday, Tony. You excited for part 2?
Very. Yeah, you left us with a cliffhanger last week, so I am super ready for this one. I want to know. Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, last episode was crazy, and a lot of the bloopers we put on Patreon, but my dog Sawyer was going crazy through a whole entire recording when we were talking about SWs. Like, she never does that. You hear her bark occasionally on the podcast, but she was going insane, very pacey. So I'm really curious if she's going to do it this time.
Yeah, she was being so weird last week. Like, I've never seen her like that when we're recording.
She's never been like that. And she's not even like that.
Yeah.
But she was acting like she was being bothered by it. So my dog is probably an SW. Who knows? So we will see if she does it this episode. I hope not. And if so, she's just going to end up on the whole entire blooper reel again. Okay. So basically where we left off in part 1, we're still with the Sherman family. Trigger warning again. This episode has a lot more animal cruelty. Huge trigger warning. Some of the animal parts were hard for me to get through. I was even doing some of it at work when I had a gap in my schedule, and I was like, oh my God, am I going to start crying about these animals? Like, it hit me hard.
Yeah, so I guess if that sounds like something you can't handle, we'll see you next time. Sounds pretty heavy.
It was for me. People are like, whatever, I'm sure. But for me, I don't, animal cruelty is so hard for me. So yeah. So we left off with the Sherman family with everything that's been happening on the ranch. And they got to the point where they were scared, but they didn't really think that their life would be at danger because no physical harm has been done to the family. So that's why they just, okay, it's really not life-threatening. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And then I left off with the night of April 1996. And so that's where we're going to start on the night of April 1996. Terry was sitting outside. He was sitting outside the house relaxing, and he had his 3 dogs with him. He sees the flash of blue again, which he has associated at this point the arrival of one of the orbs that keeps coming around. So at this point, they're almost getting used to it. Like, the damn light again's here. The dogs start growling, and this orb-like object was hovering just a few feet off the ground and was moving in their direction. But then when it got super close to them, it changed its course and it started heading north. So good old Terry, like the dumbass he is, he tells his dogs to go after it.
No.
And Terry, if you ever listen to this podcast, which you probably won't, but first, hey, what's up? Hey. Second, Come on. Really? Your dogs?
That's sad. I know where this is heading.
So the dogs, of course, they chase it at full speed, and they easily catch up to this orb-like object. But it seemed to be messing with the dogs. It would it would drop down just within inches of the dog's mouth and then go back up. Just like a cat and mouse type of chase.
Or taunting.
So all 3 of the dogs, they chased the orb light object into the woods, and that was the last time Terry ever saw his dogs.
Well, he never found their bodies or anything.
Not quite. The last moment he heard from them were their death cries, and after that, the ranch was completely silent. So Terry sat on his porch for another 2 hours before he went back inside because he knew at that point his dogs were not coming back. And he also knew there was no way he was going to go into those woods at night. And it wasn't until the sun came up the next day that he decided to venture into the woods.
Oh boy.
As soon as he stepped within the tree line, he was greeted with a distinct odor of death. And he didn't have to go very far when he found what was causing that smell. He saw 3 oval piles of incinerated flesh on the ground.
Whoa.
He knew that blue orb-like object incinerated his dogs.
Well, I mean, I guess if you have to try to find a positive in it, maybe they didn't feel any pain because it happened so fast. Hopefully.
I don't know, but they're obviously in pain because he heard them cry out, and that's...
Oh, that's right.
I feel like I've read this part so many times. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. That was Terry's breaking point. He's like, okay, my family and I, we need to leave.
Yes.
After the death of the dogs, this is the first time the Shermans spoke publicly about what was happening. Their story first appeared in a 1996 edition of a local newspaper, the Deseret News, and their story caught the attention of a billionaire, Las Vegas businessman, Robert Bigelow.
The gigolo.
Deuce Bigelow. Male gigolo. Which I can say, someone from that movie came into my work, but I'm not going to say who. And they got a massage. Anyway.
Did you tell me this?
I think I forgot to tell you who it was. Every time we bring it up, I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you. No, I keep forgetting.
I'll try to remember this time.
So, yeah, caught the attention of Robert Bigelow. He made his money as owner of the Budget Suites hotel chain, but one of his main interests was the paranormal. A year before the SW Ranch story became public, Bigelow had founded a paranormal research organization called the National Institute for Discovery Science, or NIDS, NIDS for short. So this group investigates mysterious and strange phenomena, obviously, and their goal is to find concrete evidence. So when Bigelow heard what was happening at the ranch, he was like, hell yes, let's do it. The sale of the SW Ranch was finalized in September of 1996. So he bought the ranch.
I didn't see that coming. I thought a lot more was going to happen with Terry.
Well, it does. Terry's not gone. He's gonna stay here pretty much the whole entire story.
Okay.
He's not gone. So again, Terry, if you're listening, what up?
Yo, yo.
So yeah, if I call you a dumbass, I'm sorry. I'm just really mad about the dogs. And then another thing you do later in the story makes me mad. But hey, here we are.
Terry. Shameful.
I gotta move on. I'm just gonna go off on Terry. Okay. One of their last nights sleeping at the ranch, Terry and his wife woke up with a telltale sign of alien abduction. A scoop mark scar mysteriously appearing on the body.
Oh.
I haven't personally heard that. Have you?
No, but it sounds like something they do to take a sample. Did
Yeah,
you say like a
sounds
scoop?
good. Yeah.
Ew. Yucky.
Their bed sheets were soaked in blood, and when they were getting out the bed, that's when they noticed that they both had the matching scoop marks on their right thumbs. So, of course, the Shermans were relieved that they sold the ranch, so they took the money they got from Bigelow and they used it to purchase another ranch that was only 20 miles away. My opinion, it's not far enough.
Come on, Terry.
Y'all gonna be on my level with Terry soon, let me tell you.
You should have gone out of state, Terry. What are you thinking?
It's not far enough. And even though they left the ranch, Terry had trouble letting it go completely, mainly because he wanted to figure out what was going on himself. So what does Terry do, Jessica? What does he do?
I don't know. What does he do?
He joins NIDS.
No.
Yes.
I was
He's like,
afraid
I'm a
that's what you were
paranormal investigator now.
So what the hell was the point in selling the ranch again?
Because I think at that point, after his dogs died, because, okay, they physically killed something now, I think he was in fear for his family. But to me, 20 miles still is not far enough, considering SW Ranch is over 500 acres.
Right. Yeah, it's not like they're just honed in on that one piece of land.
No.
Most likely.
I'm curious how much they sold it for. I don't know. It wasn't in the book, so I have no idea how much they sold it for. But this guy's a billionaire. Chump change to him, right?
Must have been worth it for Terry. And then he wanted to go back into the line of fire again. Just keep his family out of it. Okay, Terry.
Yeah. He joins the investigation group, but he mainly helped out on the ranch, but he did assist with some of the investigation. So he kind of was like the ranch hand as well. So Terry, he had an assignment and he was assigned to look into recent cattle mutilations.
Now, this is the part I've heard about.
Yeah, and cattle mutilations have actually been reported in and around SW Ranch as far back as the 1960s, so it's not something brand new. But the Shermans' first possible encounter with this phenomena had occurred in April of 1995, so actually a year prior. After days of extreme rain on the ranch, Terry and his son were trying to gather their cattle. As they were helping a calf, they saw another cow that was struggling to pull herself up on a steep incline, but she was struggling because of the mud. It was really slippery. Terry was like, okay, we'll take care of the cow after we take care of the calf. When they got to the cow, a few minutes later, they found it lying down at the bottom of the ridge. It was completely lifeless. So they were like, okay, unfortunately, maybe the cow drowned because of the flood. Like they were so high, the flood waters, they called it. But when they could actually see the cow up close, it had been mutilated.
That quickly? Wow.
Mm-hmm. It was in a matter of like 2 minutes of them helping the calf. Looked over, saw the cow struggling. Okay, help the calf, look back over, cow's gone, right? That fast.
Damn.
Its anus, genitals, and tongue had all been cut out, and it was completely drained of blood.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, that was a year prior, so now Terry is involved in the investigation group, and so he's digging into more mutilations that have occurred on the ranch. In one instance, there were 2 mutilated animals that were found at the same time because they were only within a few feet of each other, and their dead bodies were shoved up under a fence.
Blood, being drained of all the blood. That's crazy to happen in that amount of time. I mean, the whole thing is, but like that in particular, like that has to take so much time, and the reality
technology, technology we don't even have. Mm-hmm. We're not... If you believe in aliens, let's just say we're not as far advanced, I believe, as them, if that's something to believe in.
Not nearly.
So what they do is they put up security cameras throughout the area, and they have an observation trailer where trained scientists could observe anything that could happen on the ranch. And on January 21st, 1997, Terry found young cows that were near the observation trailer. They had very strange wounds to their ears and their eyes, and they had a bad snowstorm the night before, so he just assumed that's when the injuries occurred. So he had 2 vets come out to look at the injuries, because he didn't know what they are. And the first vet said these injuries were unlike anything he's ever seen before. He's like, I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what it could be. I have no idea. And then the second vet comes out, and they said that, oh, these are just by a coyote or a wildcat. Yeah.
Okay, bud.
And Terry's like, okay, well, maybe the second vet's probably right because they have more experience than the first vet. So maybe it's made by some type of animal. Also, I really don't see a coyote going after a cow.
Yeah, that seems a bit out of its league as far as size goes. Did it say where the wounds were on the body?
On the eyes and ears.
On the eyes and ears, okay. Oh, yes. I've seen parts of this on something. Yeah, that's creepy.
It's a big thing to talk about. However, the NIDS team wasn't convinced, considering that animal mutilations were starting to get more frequent. So what does Terry do? What does he do, Jessica? What does Terry do?
I don't know. He probably sends somebody else out there to do his dirty work. An animal,
he sends
a person.
Something. Yeah. So from his new farm that he bought only 20 miles away from SW Ranch, dumbass Terry, he transfers one of his calves back to SW Ranch.
Aww. So basically a sacrifice at this point.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that was his intention. I don't know why he did it, but it was viciously mutilated. It was also viciously mutilated in broad daylight, while Terry and the other researchers were standing within arm's reach of this poor baby.
What? So they saw it happen?
That's what it sounds like, but I don't know, because again, it sounds like it happened so fast. I don't know if it happened when they weren't looking, but they were just that close to it. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Terry, I'm mad at you now. It's official.
Come to my side. You're officially over here. Yeah. Of course, Terry is upset because why wouldn't you be, even though it was your fault, but moving on. But the research team was like, hell yeah, research.
For science.
Yeah. Like, my God, what is the show?
Christian. He's a scientist.
Remain, Rome, Return podcast. Shout out.
Christian, would you have sent your calf out there just like Terry?
Hopefully Damien would stop and be like, no, Christian, don't do it. Even for science, don't do it.
For the love of God, not the calf.
Send Terry out.
At this point, he deserves it.
But I always think of Breaking Bad where Jesse's like, science, yo. If you know, you know.
Such a good show.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. Even if you think... Even if you think you wouldn't like that show, you should watch it because I didn't think I would like it and I love it. Loved it.
No, my ex made me watch it and he's like, I don't think you're going to like it, but it's so good. Oh, it's so addicting. And then I got to do a Breaking Bad tour in New Mexico. I got to see all the sites. Cool. Oh, I love that show. Love that show. Jessica's like, shut up. So yeah, the research team is like, research. We can study this. We can use it to our advantage. So they studied the carcass and then they conducted an autopsy on this poor little baby. The calf's body appeared to have been torn open by some very strong energy. Before I go on what they say in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butt.
Oh my God.
I don't like this. I did this to myself by picking this topic. I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, it appeared to have been just torn open. One leg was ripped off at the joint. It's like a turkey leg just ripped off.
Oh.
All its internal organs had been removed with laser precision. It was completely drained of blood, and one ear was neatly severed from the head. And they say neatly because when the wound was placed under a microscope, it was extremely clear that the ear had been cut off with some type of precision instrument.
Yeah, this definitely doesn't sound like an animal would do this because don't they leave the internal organs? Like animals don't typically eat that part of their prey, do they?
But even if they did, vultures do, I think. Vultures eat anything dead.
Vultures,
but let's say it was an animal. You would know because of teeth marks and stuff, right?
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so precise. Yeah.
Yeah, like there'd be bite marks, even on the internal organs or something. I don't know. But I think if it was clearly an animal, you would know.
Yeah. Ew. It's terrible.
And I think I read, too, that I could be wrong, but it said something about how it's really not unlikely how it is unlikely for an animal to just pull a leg off another animal, like rip it off like a chicken bone.
Yeah.
It's not common to say that. In August of the same year, so again, we're in 1997, two researchers from the NIDS group, Mike and Jim, they see something unusual, even by the standards of SW Ranch. And this is where it's really weird.
If it isn't weird already.
Welcome to Weekly Bizarre. It was around 3 a.m, and the two men, they were on observation posts for several hours. They see this unknown light shining in the distance. And it's 3 a.m, so it's dark. Of course, it's 3 a.m, right? It always happens at 3 a.m.
Always.
But yeah, it's dark, so you're obviously going to see a light shining. The men set up a camera on a tripod to capture what's happening. And it's one of those cameras that automatically snaps pictures every 3 seconds. As they are doing this, Mike has a pair of night vision binoculars, so obviously he looks through them. This light starts turning into a circular portal, or like a tunnel.
Whoa.
Mike, in shock, says, quote, Jesus Christ, something is in the tunnel. Oh my God, it just climbed out.
Hell no. See, I knew this sounded interdimensional. Like, that's exactly what that sounds like. Like when he was trying to shoot at that thing and was missing it. It's so strange.
But remember in the first episode where I said that some cultures believe that SWs are like Bigfoot and Sasquatch? So this is what I'm picturing. Because Mike, he was watching this large humanoid creature come out of this interdimensional doorway, as you will. Jim, who didn't have binoculars, he couldn't see what's happening. All Mike could see All Jim could see was a swirling vortex of light, and that light was now rapidly getting smaller and smaller before collapsing in on itself, and then it disappeared entirely. So basically, to break it down, it's as if this portal was open just long enough for this creature or whatever entity to walk through, and then immediately shut the interdimensional door behind it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's like Bigfoot opened the door, bye, closed it.
Yeah, this sounds just like Mass Effect. If you know, you know.
I have no idea. I don't know what Mass Effect is.
Video game trilogy from back in the day.
Definitely
one of the best video games ever made. Yeah, but it's about space travel and aliens and stuff. And I mean, this essentially happened on different planets. The portals would open up, things would come out, and then they close.
That's actually really cool, though, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Wormholes, baby, wormholes.
Mm-hmm. But again, we have to go off what Mike says, because Jim didn't have the binoculars, like he couldn't see, so we have to go on his word. That is exactly what he saw, because he's the only one that saw this thing. And when they got to the photos showed nothing. All they showed was a distant, indistinct light, as well as other sensitive equipment in the area that picked up fluctuations in X-rays, gamma rays, beta rays, all that science stuff, etc. So basically just nothing.
Christian, can you interpret, please? If you're listening.
What is the explanation, Christian? What does this mean?
Oh, shit.
They tried to look for footprints from the entity where the light had been, but obviously they couldn't find any. But it makes you wonder, if you believe in Bigfoot, that this is how Bigfoot gets around, and that's why nobody sees them, because they're just slipping through portals.
Very good point.
And some believe that Bigfoot is an alien. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever.
That would fit this puzzle for sure.
So yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Just hopping through different portals, through different worlds. It's pretty badass, if you ask me.
It's very cool. I wish I could do it. Hell, I wish I could just do it from like here to work. That'd be cool.
I wish I could time jump, though.
Yeah, that would be creepy to me. I'd totally do it, but I'd be afraid that I'd mess something up, like disrupt something.
Jessica, you would mess something up. Let's be real.
I'd get too curious and I'd touch something I shouldn't have touched.
Domino effect.
Yeah, game over. The world as we know it wouldn't be the same.
Somehow we all start living underwater.
By one little stupid thing I did in the past.
Yeah, it's like shows you watch, which I'm going to mention Supernatural because I mention it all the time, that he's like, okay, I'm going to send you back in time, but you can't change anything, because if you change something, it's going to change what happens in the future.
Yep, sounds about right.
Even if it's something as you have orange juice and apple juice, but you got to stay with the apple juice. But if you don't, and you decide to go orange juice this time, something's going to happen. I don't know. That's all I got.
The world's going to change.
Yeah. Domino effect. Before NIDS was shut down in 2007, the group did witness this one more time. The same portal, creature comes in, creature comes out. I don't want to go into detail again because it's literally like the exact same. So Terry, good old Terry, I haven't forgotten about Terry. He comes to this research group and he's like, maybe we need to approach this a different way, because clearly we aren't any closer in figuring out what's going on around here. Maybe we need to approach it like a hunter stalking wild game. Because I believe that whatever is behind this phenomena is obviously watching our actions. And so with this display of all these cameras and other instruments we are using, it's making this unknown force go into hiding. So this means we gotta be stealthy. We gotta be stealthy as possible.
Sure, Terry. Sure.
So let's use like minimal equipment. Let's set it up in discreet viewing posts that are just far away from each other. I'm just like picturing Terry in a gym locker room with like the underdog speech, like, you know, guys, we got this. We can do this. We can capture something on camera.
When he has absolutely no fucking idea what he's talking about. no expertise whatsoever.
Yeah, he's like, let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, guys. So the NIDS researchers, they're like, nah. No, that's a no. Instead, they do the opposite. They installed cameras all throughout the property to film just about every square inch of the terrain 24 hours a day.
You would think that would have been the first thing they did. Just saying.
They just needed Terry's speech to be like, you're killing your animals, so we're not going to take advice from you.
Yeah, you're giving sacrifices. No, bud. No, not happening. Not on my watch.
And as soon as these cameras were put into place, Terry was like, cool, guys, cool. The SWs are making themselves scarce, but bravo. Bravo. So for example, in one area that previously was a hotbed for paranormal activity, they put up 6 surveillance cameras. So to be fair, it does sound like a lot of cameras.
Yeah, that's a bit much. It's a little overkill. Like all in the same spot? Just different directions? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's thorough.
But with all these cameras, the paranormal activity went dormant and months go by.
Curious.
Nothing is being captured on video. Even a year goes by. Nothing. It's like Terry in the back. Told you. For all the people
my plan
would have
worked, guys. Should have done my plan.
Should have listened to me. I'm the ranch hand. I know what I'm talking about. July 20th, 1998 rolls around when Terry, who was the one on duty at the command and control center, was alerted of a strange occurrence. Half of the cameras filming the terrain had been knocked out at the same time.
They're
so remember those 6 cameras we talked about? Knocked out. Terry, he just assumed it was some kind of electrical failure due to the rain, the thunderstorms from the night before. So he just goes and he checks the cameras. 3 cameras, which had gone offline, had all of their wiring forcefully ripped out. So he's like, okay, so maybe it's vandalism. But you have to understand, all of these cameras, they were on top of wooden poles that were 15 feet in the air. So the person, if it's vandalism, would have to climb these 15-foot poles and then rip out the wires. Sounds pretty hard if you ask me.
That's what she said.
Hardwood.
Yeah, sounds definitely like some kind of electrical interference, these beings.
Well, again, so 3 of them had their wires forcefully ripped out, and then the 3 other cameras were actually still functional. So they were still operational, as you will.
It is a little strange that the wiring has been ripped out. I wonder if it's like telepathy or something like that, like the Force from Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a Jedi.
Look up at it and they're like...
Yoda.
I'm not known for good sound effects, just saying. But you get the idea.
Just picture Yoda. Wires, be gone they will.
Yeah, we got it all figured out, see?
We always solve things around here. It was Star Wars. It's a Jedi. They just didn't want to be seen.
That's what we need to put on our Patreon is like, we just need to make an Unsolved Mysteries Weekly Bizarre edition.
That we solve? We literally solve the case every single episode we do. Come on. It's not that hard, guys.
So far, we've got slip and slides. We've got Jedi. I can't even remember some of the other ridiculous shit we've said throughout these episodes, but we've got it figured out every time.
Slip and slide is my favorite. It's that episode. Go check it out. The missing
keepers of Island Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lighthouse keepers.
We solved it. You're welcome. Anywho, so yes, Jedis are not. 3 of the cameras were still operational. So obviously the NIDS group were like, yes, we can turn them on. We're going to see what happens. So one of the cameras had been pointed directly at one of the sabotage cameras. So that means that basically they could, if that camera was sabotaged, they could see from the other camera what happened to it. Like if a Jedi ripped it out.
Yes.
But they watched the footage at the time. They believed everything happened and there was nothing out of the ordinary. So the group was like, okay, yeah, come on. Like, give us something. You got to give us something here. So like, what do we do? They send the tape to a lab in Las Vegas so they can have it digitally enhanced. The enhancement showed the red recording lights on the damaged cameras, and the footage indicated that all 3 affected cameras had switched off at the same time at 8:30 p.m. But still, they saw no one messing with the cameras. So do you know what theory they came to?
3 Jedi, not just one. No, what did they come to? What theory?
It was Jar Jar Binks. Their theory is that it was invisible.
Good theory, guys.
And it does sound far-fetched, but the book did make a very good point on why it's possible, and I'm just going to quote that. So, quote, researchers all over the world are currently perfecting methods of bending sunlight over objects in order to render them invisible. So if we are beginning to master this technology ourselves, then it should not surprise us that another far more advanced intelligence would have developed such capabilities as well, end quote. So kind of makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense.
Again, maybe that's how Bigfoot or Sasquatch, you can never find them because maybe they go invisible.
Well, remember that, I can't remember what episode it was, where I was talking about the lady that saw that weird kind of glitch move through the trees when she was out in her deer stand. It sounds like the same thing. Like something was bending the light to blend in with the environment. So, yeah. Sounds very doable, especially if they're that much more advanced than we are.
And it was also in the book, which I didn't really go into much detail about, but basically someone on Perry's property when he still lived at SW Ranch kind of saw the same thing. Like, if you ever seen, they even relate it to Predator. So in the movie, if you've seen it, old school, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So when the creature is invisible, if you've seen the movie, you can still see the creature, even though it's invisible. Like, you can see the movements, like the glitching, how fast it moves. That's what this person kind of related it to, is that's what it looked like. It was obviously something invisible, but it was there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm also picturing.
That's exactly how the lady described what she saw, too.
Mm-hmm. And so maybe, I don't know, but that's how the person on the property described it. It was like Predator. But again, he could have just said that and been like, well, I watched the movie. And so I'm kind of like just creating things in my head.
True.
But who knows? Near the end of the NIDS era at SW Ranch, the ranch's popularity had begun to attract trespassers and thrill seekers on the regular. In 2006, one of these trespassers was Ryan Skinner. He was a UFO enthusiast, and he actually first found out about the ranch by accident. Ryan and his girlfriend were on a road trip at the time when they came across flying orbs, and the ones very similar on SW Ranch.
Blue ones.
Mm-hmm. After he returned from the first encounter, he was like, oh shit. I was driving through the vicinity of the ranch at the same time we saw the lights. I have to go back. So he goes back. He would make frequent nighttime trips out of the ranch to see the strange glowing balls of light. I'd be too scared. Good for you, Ryan, but
yeah, I'd be terrified.
He does it alone. One of the nights, Skinner was hiding on a ridge, watching as the objects seemed to be observing the cattle that were grazing below. This is bad, but I'm thinking Skinner on The Simpsons, who's like, excellent. Okay. So I should probably start saying Ryan. Can you imagine him on the ridge? Excellent. My mind is dead.
We're all over the place this episode. It's great.
What's his guy that works for him? What's his name? What is his name? Smithers. Yeah. The gay guy Smithers.
Yes.
Smithers. Wow. Do you see that light? I love The Simpsons. Okay. So Ryan, he was hiding on the ridge, like I said, watching as the objects seemed to be observing the cattle that were grazing below, and the surrounding lights flickered before going out completely. So while he's watching, the door to one of the trailers next to the cattle loudly opened, and a security guard, he comes out cussing. The security guard headed for the transformer box and messed with it to get the lights to come back on. So Ryan, he's watching all of this. So he saw one of the balls of light turn its attention away from the cows, and it flew over to the guard. And this is a quote. According to Skinner, the ball of light hovered right behind the guard as he worked without ever realizing it. After the guard went inside, the orb hung in the air over the trailer as if it was thinking about what its next move should be. Then it darted off to join the larger group of orbs that had been slinking around the ranch, end quote. And he does have his own book, so he does write about this. His book is called Skinwalker Ranch, No Trespassing, True Stories, and Secret Files, if you want to go check it out.
You would think after so much time being in the same place that they would kind of be done with it. I don't know. Like, you'd think they'd get everything they need to from that place and move on. Seems like they linger there.
Because maybe they just want to like figure out what's going on and no one can figure out what exactly it is. Maybe it's just...
That's what I mean, though. I mean, you think like the extraterrestrial stuff would be done with that area. You know what I mean? Like how much information can they gather from one open field and cattle?
See. Okay, I see.
Yeah. So you'd think they would be moving on by now, but maybe it's just like a meeting ground or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't think that mutilations are only on SW Ranch. Like, I think it does happen throughout, other ranches. Why specifically this is such a hotspot area and why they stay here, I have no idea. Yeah. Maybe it's just been good for them to collect all the data, so they just keep getting good data. They like to mess with us. I don't know.
They like Terry.
They love them some Terry. How about you take Terry with you? Okay.
Yeah. He's super curious.
He let his dogs die. It's just,
that too.
You had to know. Once you stick your dogs on that thing, your dogs weren't coming back. You had to know that. Like, if it was my dogs, I'd be like, get your asses inside.
Yes. What is a dog going to do?
I want to strangle him. Okay. But it won't bring the dogs back, so it's not going to do any good. Okay. So, yeah, if you want to go check out Ryan's book, I didn't read it because I did enough research on this, so I'm sure it's good, Ryan. Good for you, bud. Good for you. Bigelow pulled the plug on his NIDS operations at SW Ranch in 2004. We aren't really sure why he did, but basically it said the money was just kind of drying up and they weren't really getting anywhere.
That's a long time to try, though.
Mm-hmm. It's a very long time to try.
Especially for as little as they were getting back from the research or from the surveillance.
I'm going to guess he just couldn't afford it anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Bigelow had been given several governmental grants for the research, but when they were not renewed, he seemed to lose interest. So it's either he just didn't care anymore or money was drying up or both. And that is part 2 of SW Ranch. A lot of the theories about SW Ranch is military. They believe a lot of it is military. I'm not super convinced it is, especially for like the animal mutilation that happened so quickly.
Right. Like, what would be the point in military doing something like that? I mean, I don't even want to think about why they would do something like that or test something like that. It's terrible. But it always comes back to the military. Like, even the Oakville blobs, they were trying to say that was military too, that blew up jellyfish in the ocean. Because
sometimes I think that they don't have explanations, so sometimes it's just easier to blame the military. Obviously, theories are they are extraterrestrial, that they do believe that they're aliens, that's what I believe.
100%, me too.
Another theory was interference from a parallel universe.
That's another good one.
It's just like,
things overlapping.
Yeah, or kind of like universe hopping, right?
Yeah.
That's a stupid one. Some believe that SW Ranch is a Native American curse, that basically people that live there, they curse the residents.
That's hardcore.
I'm just saying if it's to protect the land or not.
If they want their land back.
Or just protect their land. I think that's about... Another theory is mental mirages and hallucinations.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one. There were too many people involved.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If it was one person, okay. But it was many people.
Yeah, so those are some theories. Obviously, we're always going to have more questions than answers. So I don't know. I think alien.
I do too, for sure. What do you guys think? Do you think it was alien? Do you think it was Native Americans holding a grudge? Let us know. Email us at weeklybizarrepodcast@gmail.com. Well, guys, thanks again for joining us for another episode. We really appreciate each and every one of you. You can find us on all the social medias at Weekly Bizarre Podcasts. You can email us, weeklybizarrepodcast@gmail.com.
Can't get her to get it twice.
Yeah. Like, didn't I just say that? Yes, but hey, you're not going to email us anyway, so it's okay. It's all good. And you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/weeklybizarre. If you want to get some kind of behind the scenes banter, learn a little bit more about us, get to know us a little better on a personal level, not too personal, of course, but just kind of hang out, listen to what happened in our weeks. We're putting that kind of content on our Patreon now. We're putting some blooper reels on there. So if you want to make fun of us, those are readily available on our Patreon. Yeah, again, thank you all so much for your continued support. And if it's weird,
We're going to talk about it.
bye.
Bye.